Any host? Oh, I'm not the host. Oh, I am the host. Oh. All right, whatever. Okay. This is super cool. So we're going to get started right away. This is something that I've been waiting for a really, really, really long time. You know, as far as I know, if we go through the numbers, I think we're just going to jump into it because this is going to go a lot longer than I think we expect, which is so good. And I want to give you guys a little story before we get started. First, I want to introduce Bobby. We all know and love Bobby, but he's finally here in the flesh, and he's going to just rock the house. So everyone just give a quick shout out to Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
What's up, guys?
Bobby! How's life on the island, man?
Pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not coming back to the mainland, I'll tell you that for sure.
Yes. You know what? If you go travel around the world, it's tough. You know, Mike was just out here in Vancouver, and it's crazy, man. When you get around these mountains and the peacefulness and the zen, the fresh air and the ocean water, it's a tough place to leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, all right, I want to give you guys a little story on how this whole entire thing came about. I've known Bobby for a very long time. Bobby and I spent a lot of time together down in Mexico. We were down at Balage's bachelor party, and it was a ton of fun. But Bobby has been, we call him OG. He's been around for a very, very long time. He was around before I was even into Enagic, so it gives you guys a little bit of context. He's been in the business for a long time, so he knows what he's talking about. We all start this business at the same place. We all start as a 1A. No one gets any advantage, okay? Everyone starts as a 1A. And this is generally a transformation, right? Usually Enagic's not your first job, right? No, like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to go get a job. Hey, I'm going to buy into a direct sales company and build. So we've been to school. We've grown up with parents telling us what to do and when to do it. We've had jobs with bosses that we like and that we don't like. But the thing is we've been programmed ever since we were a child. And when you come into this business, something happens. You get that hope back. You get that feeling of community, of a sense of synergy and power. It's amazing what happens when you fall forward into this business. Now, a lot of people, again, me included, you come out of the oil field and you're programmed and you are thinking a certain way and you act a certain way. And then you get into this business and all of a sudden you start reading these books and you start listening to these audios and all this sort of magical stuff starts happening in your life. But you still feel like you're that old version of yourself. You're the worker who is working themselves out of a 9-to-5 into entrepreneurship. You're an employee who does entrepreneurship on the side. When you get to the point in your business where you are investing spiritually, you're getting deep within yourself. We're not feature benefit selling the product anymore. We don't do that. That's not what we do. We're not here to sell somebody on a water ionizer. We're here to help people reach their full potential, to use technology to build a life of abundance. When you can draw that line between the old self and what I call your second self, it happened when I changed my name. And I thought it was like everybody else. I was like, this is, how can it possibly work? How can my name, out of all the names, how can this work? But you only had one name out of all the possible names. You were only born on one day out of all the possible days. So yes, it may seem like it would just happen, but it happened. Now, the thing is a lot of us, we're not aligned. You know, chances that your birth date and your name are aligned, I'm not an expert on this, but I can probably assure it's probably not that great. So when you get into this business and you really are at the point where you are ready to commit, you are ready to tattoo Enagic on your heart, tattoo this vision, the goals, the team that you're with, there is no resistance anymore. And you are ready to become that second self, to become that version of you that you've known that was deep down inside you the whole entire time, ever since you were a kid. And you're up a T-ball and you're, hit the ball and you believed inside that version of you that knew you could do it. You change your name and all of a sudden this alignment happens. And things just start to magically happen. And we call it voodoo. We call it hocus pocus. Call it the law of attraction. Call it whatever you want. But there is a reason why we do this. And I'm going to open up the floor to Bobby right now. He's going to tell us exactly why. So, Bobby.
Thanks a lot, Kev. I really appreciate you. Honestly, this is such a freaking honor and such a blessing and a pleasure to speak to all you guys and all you entrepreneurs. You guys are a squad and a half. We see the Allied Forces, and we're just like, this is a really good team. I'm so blessed to be here. I even went and asked Balaj if he'd come and shine with us for just 2 minutes. And just, dude, come and drop this. It needs to come straight from your mouth first. The reason why I found numerology was because this guy was like, this is the missing ingredient, bro. You got to take a look at this. And I'm like, missing ingredient? He's like, I don't know, man. It's like the secret key or something. You just got to talk to this, and this chick's going to do something to your name. And trust me, it's going to be powerful. And it blew my mind. And he joined us. He's here. So, B, if you don't mind, man, if you could just, deal me in before I get too far in. I want everybody to know just a little bit about how this came to be, and to set me up for this conversation, man, because I'm about to change some lives here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you guys. Hold on. Just realized my mic's way the fuck over there. All right, here we go. Back in biz. What's up, guys? I know Kev probably wasn't even expecting me to be here, but what's up, Kev?
Searching through my shit, trying to close down this thing in the background. What is going on?
No, I'm actually here for real. Bobby asked me to pop out as a bit of a surprise for you guys, and I knew that talking about numerology would be life-changing for anybody who hears this information, and this is what Bobby does now full-time, and spends all of his days literally transforming lives one by one by one by one, and sometimes many at a time. My journey goes back, if you look at my name, you'll notice one very special letter somewhere in that mix. It may or may not be right in the middle, but there it is. And it's the W. I was not born with that. It was not given to me by my parents. It was not my middle name. It's not short for a middle word of any kind. It is actually an addition that I got, how many years ago is now, Bobby? 5? 4?
About 5? There, yeah. About 5.5 years ago.
Something like that. Something roughly 5 years ago. And a lot of cool things happened, but I was one of those people that wasn't really into spirituality. I'm not a religious person, wasn't growing up in a religious environment. Nothing against religion, just wasn't something that I grew up with. So I didn't personally resonate with that message. And at the same time, I was kind of open-minded to these other possibilities, like horoscopes. Once a year, I'd flip to the back of the paper and read my horoscope. Shit, it's kind of accurate. It's fucking creepy. Never reading it again. So it's kind of like that guy where I saw the value. I didn't understand it, and I stayed away from it until my story was I went to Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. It happens every year in Vancouver. And at the time, I was trying to generate leads for Nagic and find a way, thinking there's a bunch of healthy hippies that are going to be at this thing that may be interested in the water. So that was my marketing strategy at the time. So I go there, wanted to help some people with the water, and I see this lady who had this numerology booth, and I look over and there was a board that had words on it. Those things you see on Facebook where it's what are the first 3 words that you see, and it means something for you, what your filters pick up on, I guess. So I look over and it said, water, prosperity, freedom. And I was like, fuck off. So I look back and I see those 3 words, and I walk up to the lady, and she tells me that she can do it down and dirty for 20. And I was like, I don't know if Bobby's doing down and dirties for 20 anymore. He's probably costs more. He probably does down and dirties for 100 or something like that. But regardless, I was like, yo, my girlfriend's over there. This is weird, Anyway, she's like, let me quickly do this. We're closing the booth. It was the last day. She ends up drawing my name. She's like, what's your name? Draws my name on the board and dissects it. And what really caught my attention actually was that she brought up a guy named T. Harv Eker. Have you guys ever heard of T. Harv Eker? So he wrote the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And she was the one who put the letter T in his name. He was actually just Harv Eker before. And when she said that to me, it blew me away because I had read that book like the year before and I knew how amazing it was. She told me the story how he was a struggling entrepreneur who was failing, in his entrepreneur ventures. He went bankrupt, he lost money, he did all these different things. And then he met Leah, who gave him the T, and then all of a sudden everything shifted and he became like a super successful entrepreneur. I don't know, he's worth like 50 million plus or something like that now. Wrote the book, bestseller, so on and so on. So I was like, okay, I got to listen to this. So what ended up happening is she told me that my birthday had this massive destiny. And when you have a chat with Bobby, you're going to realize that your calling, your purpose, that part of you that is searching for something bigger than yourself, whatever it is that you've always wanted, it deep down inside is actually written in your birthday from the moment you were born. It was already decided. It's already there. And Bobby can fucking read that to you and you're going to trip out. You're going to be like, how in the world do you know this stuff? Mm-hmm. And all Bobby does, Bobby's amazing in many ways, but all he does is he's able to explain this hidden message in this code, which consists of numbers, to you. Kind of like reading DNA, sort of similar. And so this lady says to me that, you got this massive destiny. You're here to change the world, make a difference, be super wealthy, be super happy, have a loving family, travel the world, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I want, but that's not what I have. So fuck. And she goes, well, it's probably because your name's not aligned. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So ends up doing the numbers on my name. And what she says was, that my whole life I was working hard. I was trying to do all the things people were saying, but I was just coming up short. Like I was the guy who always got second place, or they almost hired me for the job, but I was second place and some other fucking guy got the job. Or I wanted to take this chick on a date. She went on a date with some other dude. And I was like, fuck. So I got so close, but not quite where I wanted to go. And then she says, this W is the letter that will align my birthday and my name together. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever, hocus pocus. I remember when I first told Kevin, he was like, yeah, okay, buddy. And I was like, I don't know, dude, it's working for me. Try it out. And he's like, all right, whatever, I'll try it out. And then there we go. Now he just said a few minutes earlier that it's profound. It like shifts you. All the things you used to value, you don't care about anymore. All the things that are more important you care about, all your gifts and your strengths come out of you. You start just dialing stuff in. It's amazing. So the thing that I want to share with you, and I'll hand it over to Bobby, is so this person was doing this workshop, and I told Bobby he had to come. And, Bobby was trying to find his way at the time. It wasn't like super dialed in like he is today. And he's like, okay, I'll come. I listen to you. I trust you, man. I'll come check this thing out. And we're sitting beside each other at this event. And she's like breaking down how it all works. And all of a sudden, Bobby's like, I don't know, it was like probably like the first day, like it was a 3-day event, like halfway through the first day, Bobby just like nudges me, like looks at me, and he's like, bro, I already know all this stuff. And I was like, bro, I'm so confused right now. There's no possible way that you know all this stuff. He's like, yeah, dude, like as she's teaching, I'm remembering like this is a part of me. And I was like, what? By the end of the weekend, he was up there teaching with her. Like they were tag teaming shit. Like he was finishing like sentences and stuff. And I was like, yo, this guy literally just downloaded like some gift he was born with, like some higher power shit was happening. And obviously he spent a lot of time training and learning more about it after that. But the basics, he just got it immediately. And I was like, okay, I think this is going to be Bobby's thing, like I think he's just going to take this thing all the way and really change a lot of people's lives. So you guys are really in for a treat. Bobby's the type of guy who, in my business alone, I don't know the most recent numbers, but I think it's well over 1,000 people he's done in my team of readings and transformations. And across the board, all 1,000 of them have nothing but positive things to say about the transformations that they've had. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to this type of presentation, you're in for a huge treat. but even more importantly, something one-on-one with Bobby to like really tell you your specific message and story is going to be something that is hard to believe. It's hard to quantify at first, but over time, when you look back and you're like, holy shit, everything started to click and happen for me from the moment you had that one-on-one meeting with Bobby into the future. And for me, the W's changed my life. Literally everything I've ever wanted, I have since the W. And that's my personal testimonial. But because of that, we've together with Bobby, we've changed thousands of lives now sharing this message with people. So over to you, brother. Rock and roll. I'm going to stick around and listen to this for a bit.
Oh, man. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you so much for everything. You've absolutely changed my life, guys. This is an absolute profound experience. I promise you guys, this is going to change your life to know what is actually hiding and what's written inside of your birthday and inside of your names is second to none. There are so many cool trainings and technologies out there, but this personal development, Kevin was talking about the spiritual discovery of yourself and where your shortcomings are and where the type of person you are, it all shows up the same way that an artist has a bunch of different colors on a palette and they're painting a picture. And you got your reds and your blues and your greens and you have your yellows and your orange, all the different pieces of the vibration you use. So you're like, oh, vibration, pieces, colors, what are you talking about? Leadership, partnership, creativity, hard work, practical, adventure, warrior, the balancer, the people of family, those of spiritual influence, those of magnetic abundance. There's also humanity. There's angels out there. There are all of these different, and you identify with these. People are like, oh, it's me, or yes, I got that, or part of me is there, and part of us gets a chance to align to those definitions that show up in our life. And when we get a chance to do that, I promise you guys, to know yourself is one of the most powerful experiences and conversations ever. And to think, I was like, yeah, I do. I knew this. I knew numerology. I got this. I understood this. But then what I was taught was that you could crank the dial on this and you could actually like change it and move it 5 degrees over. That's all Blanche did. He took his name and he moved it from like party boy extraordinaire to like global visionary. And the two start to match. And next thing you know, his name says Ferrari and his life path says Ferrari. Before it was like, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying, but I'm not taking it to the full extent. I'm not taking it to the full motive. And when we're looking at numbers and you're like, wow, I like these, a business number shows up, magnetic abundance for wealth. How about co-creation of the universe and be able to actually speak your will into reality? This is what put Balash through the door, but then kept him coming back down as soon as the 3 in your name was not, was imbalanced. And then even with Kevin to have the EJ in there, it shows him and brings him up to a level of godlike power. I looked at the name behind Kevin Melnick. It's the same letters as the word God. And to think that he's like, I'm like, I shouldn't have said that because Kevin's like, see, I told you guys, like, you guys better get in with this and know. And it's like, okay, I get it. But he's a very heart-centered leader. You think of this creation energy, and you think of someone who leads with the heart. He's a big teddy bear. Don't let the muscles fool you. He's got a really big heart. He's not mean as he looks with the cigar and the freaking ball head tattoos. I'm like, oh, man, this is so awesome because he brings love and he brings power inside of what we're happening. So it's unbelievable to see that. Even for myself, I'll let you guys know this. I was dealing with a lot of stuff in my life. And when I put the F in my name, my middle name is Francisco. So I basically put the letter F in my name. And I went through a transformation. I got rid of the wrong people in my life. I basically got rid of my jobs for the last time. I found the woman of my dreams. I started to create my family. I just had my son. We got the most perfect setup, and we're only growing. And everything on my list is starting to plunk into place. And it was all because I had the vibration quality of business, spirituality, and family all in one. So we've got your global visionary inside of Balaji. We've got your godlike power inside of Kevin E.J. Melnick. I come in with a spiritual understanding of love meets business, and let's create something inside of here for you long term. It's a most amazing experience. And the amount of people that I've worked with, it's like mind numbing. I've gone into group sessions now. I help people at a time. So what I wanted to do for you guys is like let you guys know we're going to organize something for you all. But I also wanted to let you guys know that as part of Allied Forces, I'm coming in with a nice, solid, exclusive rate, exclusive price for you all so that you guys can experience what it's like to actually have this experience. And whether it's business, whether it's self-worth, whether it's your own like demons you're fighting on the inside, could be even just your children. Maybe your demons are in your kids and you're like, these little monsters are running around and I need to know why this one keeps running into the wall and why this one doesn't want to listen to me and why this one's going off And all of this stuff shows up to give you clarity around your relationship. I've helped people get pregnant, guys, like literally. And like, lady was like IVF or IV, whatever you call it, in vitro, like tens of thousands of dollars spent. 13 years later, 6 weeks after I give her a name, she says I'm pregnant. And I'm like, dude, that is nuts. And it's happened multiple times. To think that we have the ability to align to whatever it is that you want, whatever it is you're looking for. And I'm pretty sure the conversation starts with wealth. And even with me, and Balaj was like, yo, take a look at this. And I talked to this numerology, and I had this feeling inside of there. And what ended up happening was like, yeah, but can you help me get married? Can you help me find love in my life? Can you help me become a better person and this and that? It wasn't just about the wealth for me. And not to say that it's only just about the money for anyone, but the reality is that it starts to go deeper. I got hurt as a child, or a broken heart, or something happens to me, or I get teased, or whatever happens in life that puts you down. It could even just be yourself. How many people out there fight themselves? How many people out there don't love themselves the way they should? They take care of everyone else and they don't take care of themselves. Or they know everything they want to speak, but they can't come out and say it. Or they say it too late, or they're too early, or they're too sharp, or too soft. And this feeling is to think, guys, you can actually align the value inside of your name. And to actually do that, it's a game changer. It's unbelievable. We have a beginning. I'm going to share this with you guys so you guys can kind of take a look at this. What I'm going to do, I don't have it up, so I'm going to open it up first, and then I'll share with you guys what it looks like to actually get involved and do something like this. So when I work with someone, I basically look at the names inside of their numbers, and because Balaj is here and it's fair, I'm just gonna show up with his numbers first, and then that way you guys can at least see this. Sorry, dude, I'm about to put you on blast here. But let's see if I have this. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys what a chart looks like, okay? When I work with someone, I do this. I pull out a chart, and I basically write their numbers in place. Now, this is going to be a fun-looking chart here because this is my boy. This has got a lot of potential in this. But this is his life path. Life path 8. Grows up with a lot of fun, pleasure, joy. Okay, he's a great guy to have a great time, crack a few beers with. But he go a little overboard. Okay, everybody knows if you don't know Balaj, he gets a little too fun. And next thing you know, he's swearing at you for not being able to keep up with him. He's like, "You're a pussy. Come on, man. What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't do this," because he's got party mode and he's got no limits. Then he steps into his global perspective. This is the destiny he was supposed to have. A world-focused, giant level of heart. And then let's change it financially. Let's move it around. I'm going to be a boss, the boss of all bosses. But his name was saying, look, I'm still here in this 3. I want to have fun. I just want to enjoy. I just want to be a kid. I don't want to have to deal with all the painful realities of life. Then he steps into the bigger stage of his life. And the bigger stage of his life is saying, it's not going to work here. You've got a big vision. You've got a big focus and something that's going to happen. Next thing you know, this letter comes in and his birthday matches the stage that he's in inside of his name. It wasn't just the fact that he was a life path 8. He was also destined to do something great for others and to be a very influential influencer inside of life. But to take that W in his name moved him forward. Then he's also got a level of 5, which says, let's have fun. I want to travel. Traveling is going to be the place where this guy retires. He's like living the retirement lifestyle. But to absolutely travel the world is a very important piece. 5, travel. 5, travel. But then he's also spiritually considered. So of course he hates religion. He's not going to be very into that stuff because it's a fake. It's a sham. It's this political control over people. And he's like, you can't tell me anything. This guy's a boss. You can't tell him what to do. Growing up, his favorite saying was, "I'll decide." And this is like a thing that carried him on with him. And to know that this is there, my little girl's a life path 8. And I'm looking at her and she's like, "I'm not going to listen to you." And she's 6. And I'm like, I don't want to crush her spirit because, this is what happens to us as little kids. We get in trouble. We get told, go to your room, or we get, reprimanded. And at a very fragile age, we're dealing with, or this guy's dealing with an adult energy. So to read a chart like this is going to give him clarity to be like, oh my God, no wonder I can forgive my parents for being so mean to me when I was a kid and whatever it was and however it looks like. It's because this guy's hard to manage. He's not going to listen. And if you tell him something, he's going to do something else, even if it's not the right thing. It's just because he wants to follow his own path. But to know that there's freedom, and we're talking about freedom inside of his name, there's also a challenge in there. If you've ever heard Balaj talk, obviously we have, sometimes he's searching for the right word. He's like, I don't know. I think in Hungarian, and this is an excuse for being out of communication in certain areas. but then in a certain area when he does speak, it speaks power to the depth of your soul. So when I'm doing this for someone, I'm telling the story of your life in a way that you've never heard it or seen it before, yet have been living it every single day of your life. Like every single day of your life, you have been living and walking the story, but it's been a jack-in-the-box, peekaboo, haunted man in the closet. Every single day, you got to figure out another, oh my God, am I going to make it? Or which side of me is going to wake up on the side of the bed? I wanted to share something with you guys. The fact that this guy doesn't have a middle name, some people don't, but it says God right there. Infinite, infinite, infinite. The void of the universe exists within inside of this old soul. He was here to do something extraordinarily powerful. And because of this life-changing technology and this business and his commitment to getting better, he spawned my lifestyle. He spawned your guys' lifestyle. All of this stuff happened and broke free from this. It makes me wonder, it makes me think, like, of all of this, right? I teach this inside of a course. Like, I actually train people on how to do this. Are you landing on a name that speaks of power? Look how many different options you have. If it's in green, it works. I mean, you can use it. If it's in purple or black or like, you know, one of the mastery numbers, that's business entrepreneur alignment with legacy wealth. That's the vision that says king. That's the vision that says queen. That's the one that says like global vision. Then we've got God over here is just sitting on top of us all. And we've got these values like I roll with an 876. But here we go. Like your first name says this one. You know, like Balage's name was somewhere around here, 257, 933, and like, you know, or 75, whatever it was, 775. All of the numbers, none of them were landing. It's like going to the casino and like putting it on roulette or like the, you know, the table, and then none of your numbers get called. And you're like, oh man, I shoot out again. I got to go back and make some more money and come back and play and gamble again. And when he found this, the gamble was over. He stopped coming down. And he continued to rise. And I remember every time I talked to him, it was like, oh, he's going to, I didn't want to say it anymore, but the amount of money this guy makes is dizzying. And the fact is that, like, you know, when you get into alignment, there is no telling what you can do. There's no telling what you can really, truly come up with and what happens. But I've spent time chronicling this, guys. I've got an app in the development. I've got a site in the development. We do group sessions. We're getting into events. We're doing a lot of really powerful things. I work with people all day long. This is the second quarter of my 2019. Just to let you guys know what I'm doing and where we keep up and what ends up happening, you're next. When I'm doing this for families, you get a chance to learn. When I'm doing this for couples, you get a chance to see why the relationship works or why it didn't, or why marriage hurt you, or why taking a new name suddenly shifted your whole vibration. So what I really wanted to do, because I could spend time talking about 1 speaks for leadership. Let's talk about that, the positive and the negative. 2 stands for partnership. 3 stands for creativity, the entry point to love. Then we have the entry point to wealth. Then we have the entry point to passion. Then we have the maturity of love and wealth. Then we have the maturity of wisdom, of spiritual power. Then we have the maturity of like wizard-like a communication in a magnetic force. If it doesn't have a button, a system, an automation, Blodge is like, it's wasting my time. Why would I crank this? I would pay someone to crank my jack-in-the-box all day long if it meant that I could like, and I remember him like downloading this to me. If you've ever been coached by this guy before, you guys are there if you're there to know that you like systems, operations, and finding leverage is one of the most biggest powerful things you can have. This is an infinity symbol if you turn your head sideways. There's a value inside of here that says, I don't ever want a ceiling ever again. Do not ever put a ceiling or a cap on me. I want to continuously move this over. He's a real life, everyday wizard inside of his birthright. And that's a wonderful thing to think of. And sometimes when I'm talking to people, I'm like, yo, you got Balaj numbers. Are you ready to jump off the cliff? And I know that it might take some time for someone to go that far. Sometimes people start with the name around here. They work their way up to a name around here, or they take one name legally, one name for their business page. But imagine what would happen if you were to go into your business page and you were like, oh, I'm just going to use this name. It says I fight with myself and nobody knows about the addictions that I have to deal with. I was born with this name. When I'm looking at this, I'm like, hey, wait a second. Just to call him out again real quick. 257. That was the name I was born with. My Belmont Francisco Pereira. No wonder him and I became buddies, because we literally have the same vibe inside of our names. I'm like, I get you. And I remember even we were like, you know, smoking weed, having fried chicken on top of the tower. They're back in 2007, 2008. We're like, man, we can see this stuff. It's going to happen. Some crazy's going to go down. We don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to figure it out. And it was so cool to have the original mastermind that happened there. But to think, what would happen if this showed up to like a client, and you're like, you know, you're bringing pizza and blunts, and you're like, you're talking about spirituality, you don't even talk about business anymore. And the feeling is like, yeah, well, obviously we're speaking the same language. Or maybe someone who just fights with their clients and they just want to bully their way through. Or maybe someone who's like, oh, I really want to be a leader, but I just can't help but like, you know, fall into the what everyone else says. I have ambitions to be by myself. I have ambitions to be in control, but I can't go anywhere unless I have the approval of others. Or then there's the really hard numbers when we see things end in 4 and they're like, I'm going to work really hard at this, but I don't believe I'm worthy of wealth. I don't believe I can do this. If you see any of these white numbers, and these are your names, guys, these are the names you have in your first name, your middle name, your total name, your last name, your maiden name. When we're looking at this, let's take a look at someone else's chart real quick just to see what we got going on. There's a value of all of these different spreads that show up in your world. It's just like a Rubik's Cube to make sure that things are moving forward. So what I do with someone is I detail the road you're on. You ain't changing your birthday. I haven't met one person who's done it yet. This is your time stamp into the world. You're crying. They cut the cord. What are we going to name this thing? They take down your very first vibration, and they write down your name on the certificate. Great, congratulations, you're a parent. Can't get out of here. Go raise a family. And this is what we do. You get a name, and guess what it is? Well, that was my grandfather's name, and this is the name passed down to us by generations. You're getting stamped with the same bullshit that they had to deal with without the technology to be able to figure it out. Now that we know better, we need to do better. I promise you guys this is what this looks like. But the reality is that, does your name work? Does it actually take you to the place you want to go? I think I should stop looking at other people's charts because that's kind of invasive. Not that you guys even know what it means. But the reality is that when you have a name that works, everything just glides. Everything just clicks. And even Balaj was like, I changed my name legally. And it's a wonderful feeling to think, he's like, oh, man, I felt it. I felt that push, and that it just, things got to the even further level. My clients, I say, well, wait a year, wait 2 years, wait some time. Don't just change your name legally right now. What if you grow out of it? What happens if you take a name and it's no longer the name you need to use, or the name that's going to take you into your final form? You know, there are people out there who take one name and that's it. And then there's other people who take a name for business, a name for their dating sites, and a name for their personal life, and a name for their, their cat or whatever. And the feeling shows up that they've sorted out the different vibrations for different places. Or there's people like myself who take one name now and then use another name later, or use another name deeper, or use another word for something else. And it's cool because the conversations that happen between me and Balaj now are like, let's figure out the right dates. What does this business look like? What's the good day to do that? What are my dates for alignment? What are the days where the gods part the clouds and everything goes into alignment? What about my license plate? What about it goes as deep as your address, your phone number. Imagine having a phone number that doesn't say anything. You're going to look at it and be like, oh, someone's calling me, and put it on silent. I don't answer phone calls. And or someone who's like, oh, great. Hey, how you doing? And they don't stop talking, and they just continue rattling off into a conversation. You can't get a word edgewise. It's because the combination of numbers speak to a certain level. So when I'm working with someone, the magic numbers need to appear. And this is where we do it. We actually find the right tweak, the right name, the right purpose. What do you like? Oh, I'd like some leadership. Or I don't really like I want to build this by myself. Can I build something quietly? Or I'm super spiritual. I'm super hardworking. Or I want a family. Or I want to do this on my own. I want to go travel, live the laptop lifestyle. Every single person has their right to live their life the way they want to. So I talk about this all day long, and I sit at this and I channel information. It is unreal to think that I'm doing spiritual healing now. I'm going out there and talking about stuff that happened when people was a kid, and to help them rebuild the tears, the emotions, and the profound understanding of what's going on within you is second to none. And a lot of people call this weird looking stuff. And imagine all the people that are here. Think about the people who are not, and they're like, oh God, this numerology stuff again. This is some weird spiritual mumbo jumbo. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. You just probably got a lot of 4s in your chart. I mean, anybody born in April that's a little skeptical, and they're just kind of like, I don't know about this. If you're born with a 4 in your chart somewhere, you're probably like, show me the details. Like, I want to see the real numbers in this stuff. And this is why I love it, because I've got that number inside of me. And I'm like super spiritual. But on one side, I'm like, the way to work is to work really hard. The way to make money and the way to do this is like, oh my gosh. And then Balaj was like, I remember I was like working 76 hours a week, and I posted my schedule, fucking proud of it. And he's like, there's a better way, bro. And then 2 weeks later, I get fired, And then I'm opening the door and I'm like, better call Blush. And I'm like, go to this guy. I'm like, that's it, man. I give up. I got to do this. I got to get involved. I'm going to make sure this happens. And it was the best decision of my entire life. I owe my success and my livelihood, my family and everything to this man. And it's an unbelievable feeling that I was like, I'm going to pick this guy as a mentor. I'm going to listen to what he says. And I'm going to absolutely do exactly what he said. Dude, well, you got to come here. You got to see this. I'm like, tell me more. And I learned about this in a way that absolutely shifted the direction of my life. I've helped name babies. I named Jang's little boy. I named Cameron's little girl. I named, who else? I named like Sarah Price, Clint's little boy. All the little babies you see running around that are all clients of mine. They have numerologically aligned names. And I was like, I'm going to have to explain this to people one day. Like in 15, 20 years, they're going to be like, so you're the one who gave me my name. Like, what was that all about? I'm like, trust me, it's going to be a powerful experience. And it's crazy to do numerology for kids, to do numerology for couples. I promise you guys, the applications in this are endless, absolutely endless. So instead of going through definitions, I wanted to pull out some lucky people in here. I heard a name of like, someone was like, I can't remember what it was. I believe it was Shannon. Where it was like, it was 9 months and this woman had like no action in her business. And I'm like, you know what? I wanted to do a session like live for you guys in compact form. I know that we're going to be so riveted by what's happening inside of Shannon's chart, but I wanted to give you guys some names. I wanted to absolutely do something to help you guys move forward. So if what we're going to do is we're going to get a roster of everybody who's here. If you guys, oh, that's too much. There's too many people here. Sorry, I can't do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some people's names and we're going to offer you guys something extraordinarily powerful to work with me. If you guys go to my site, you guys, I'm just going to write my site down in here. I'm going to ask you guys a really big favor, okay? So this is the site you guys go to get to me, Bobby at XYZ. It's a full catalog of my services, okay? I work with people. I would suggest we work for 90 minutes for our first session, but I charge $333 US. I'm not kidding. And I'm absolutely not even afraid to do that. I know that this is worth millions of dollars, and I know what my time and my value is worth, to the point where I started to start doing group sessions where I take like 30 people at a time. And this is interesting. I want to show this, especially to the leaders, especially to the people who have got a list of people in their team. Okay, in a 3-hour jam, I take a bunch of tired and miserable numbers that are all like banging their heads on the wall, and I put mastery and sweep it over all of them. To think what could happen to your team in 3 hours where all of them suddenly get aligned and all of them suddenly get the numbers that they need to move forward in their business. We go through the most powerful and dynamic training that you could ever. These are my clients of group sessions. This one was nuts. This one was a big one. These guys were look at these names. These are all people in New Zealand. You guys ever hear of the Wolf Pack? If you haven't, like, you got to take a look at this stuff. These are unbelievable. They're crazy out there. And they're like, yo, take these bigger numbers. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, we're absolutely sure. But I get a chance to work with small groups, big groups, and help people all over. Some even groups come and see me twice. And sometimes we actually get a chance to see. So Kevin's like, oh, dude, this is me all day long. Imagine if all of my entrepreneurs all got lined up at once. It would be a spike in the raising of the consciousness inside of your business and inside of your conversations. You attract new people. You bring life to old business. This is unbelievable. It brings me to, like, I'm stunned even to think that this technology exists. Or we could just start with you. We could just start with you. Maybe you're dealing with something super challenging. You've lost someone. You got, like, I deal with people lose like over $500,000 worth of debt. They screwed over. One guy got stuck holding the bill, and he gets sent to jail for 9 months, and it wasn't even he was just a name on the business. And I'm like, you're a fall guy inside of your numbers. You're the one who wants to be in business but ends up being in front at the wrong time. And to think, he's like, dude, he's almost in tears. Like, I spent 9 months in jail and I didn't even do anything. And it was crazy to see that. But it's unbelievable to think that now we're cranking the dial back up. We're moving it back up. One more show I want to share with you guys, just to show if anybody notices something. All these numbers end in a 6 or an 8, or an 8 or a 6. Maybe some of them end in a 4, but they all end in a vibration of love or money. And that's the whole point that we do. We crank your name to the right degree so that you can actually unlock some of the gifts that you've got going on. So I absolutely will, I'm going to be running a private group for you guys. It's going to be at a fraction of the cost. We're only going to do it for $100 Canadian per person. And I'm going to deduct that from your private booking. So if you guys want to do this, what we're going to do, and I'm going to read some guys' numbers. If you guys want to volunteer, I'd say like maybe the first 3 people to put their birthday down, or maybe Kevin wants to lay the hand of God here and select the chosen ones and let me know who I'm going to do or how. There you go. See, we got birthdays coming in at the yazoo. So that happens to me all the time. Okay, stop. No more birthdays. Stop. Just John's like, it's my birthday today, or is that John or Sonia? I think that this like requires me to do something for you guys. But cool. Stop putting your birthdays down. What we're gonna do is because that group session feel, you guys grow stronger as a family. You guys know who to be accountability partners with. The ones see the ones, and the leaders see the leaders. And Kevin's sitting there like taking inventory of his team and knowing exactly who's talking to who and like what's happening inside of your chart to know what's happening and get the numerological alignment for your business, especially at a high leader level. It's unbelievable, guys. Sorry, we got someone with background noise. If you could mute yourself, that'd be great. I'm not sure who's that, but there's some really cute kids in there getting fed. But yeah, if you don't mind to mute yourself, that'd be great. Unless you have a question, you want to jump into the chat, or you'd like to actually say something, I don't mind. But if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. But in a group session, I basically take everybody all at once. It's a 3.5, sometimes 4-hour training. Like we do this on a Saturday or a Sunday when I can like at least give you guys that energy. And we go through every single one. And if you try to lift a car by yourself, impossible. But if you had 30 people and they each had a hand in it, I'm pretty sure we could lift the car that you've spiritually put yourself under and move your shit back to the right level so you can get outside of the spiritual accident that you've been running in, and that feeling can absolutely move you back forward. To have everyone else's healing energy on top of you, everyone else's magnetic energy helping you through the digital campfire, so as I like to call it, and we can absolutely move you guys through a group session is uniquely different because everyone gets to learn on everyone's different numbers. You guys have a really powerful, profound experience. You all get reports. So we give you an absolute owner's manual to your life, literally written owner's manual, the letter that's going to work or the combination of them that's going to work. And then Naomi said here, she remember she came to my house. She's on the island. And it was a pleasure to connect with you, by the way. But this value is to think that we can move all of you over at the same time. And it'll only be $100. I usually charge 111 US per person. And I was like, well, I want to do something special for Kev. I mean, like, this is like the original core. Like, Balaj has been there, I've been there, Kev's been there, and you guys are doing big things. So I was like, well, let me do something for you guys. And I wanted to do this for you guys. So I'm going to give you guys $100 for a group setting in Canadian dollars. So I'm not going to charge you US because Kevin's like, dude, man, we're all cheap. Everyone's like, what's too expensive to work with Bobby? What the hell? I'm like, easy, guys. Tom took a ferry and he went to see me on the island and he did his session in person. So don't tell me it's too cheap. It's about how much you're going to invest in yourself. But all jokes aside, I get it. We're all building business. We all have ad budgets. We all have things we need to take care of, mouths to feed and stuff like that. So I figured, okay, let me just do this as a group, as a really big love and a big care. But at the same time, I also have something else for you guys. And this is a Allied Forces exclusive, okay? So this is going to be completely separate for everyone. But I would absolutely recommend that a group session does not replace the individual conversation that we need to have about your life, your soul, and your value and who you are. And I wanted to set my flag down as someone inside of your business and inside of your camp and to install myself inside of your guys' hearts and to share this with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly pause my recording so this doesn't go onto my content. The group session that we're about to do here, I would say maybe someone rally up everyone and say, let's get into this and let's set a time, let's set a date. We'll do it by the end of June or maybe it's sometime in July. It'll take me about a week to prepare for this. But in terms of that private conversation, you guys are going to need to have it. I promise you it's going to change everything. It's changed everything for my life and my kids and everyone inside. But I'm here. I'm absolutely here. I'm not moving. I'm not going to run. It's like we're holding you guys and we're holding your businesses and we're not going to let you guys fall. So I'm going to honor some of the stuff I said. I said, hey, let's read some birthdays. Let's actually do this. Mike Evans, we're cool. All right, Mike, we're going to do this. And I'm going to do this for a few people. And then what I'm going to do, take a quick little read, and then I'm going to give you a letter. I'm going to absolutely share this with you. So we got Mike, fun guy. Okay, he's got the party mode in him, but he also knows how to get to work. He absolutely knows the value of hard work. And when we're looking at his chart altogether, we see here a life path 9. He's got a giant heart. It's not all about the money for this guy. It's actually about the impact, this feeling of doing something bigger and helping people. And feel free to unmute yourself if you want to have this conversation with me together, or if you just want to sit there and listen, it's fine. But the life path 9, what's going on, my brother? The life path 9 brings your giant level of heart to humanity and want to help and want to heal and want to serve people. And you care about things like majestic views and spirituality and like carrying into other stuff. It fascinates you. But on the other side, we have a fun-loving guy. There's probably going to be some enjoyment in there. You have a good-looking smile, that feeling of you want to be charismatic, and also know the value of a hard day's work and a hard day's effort. And to know that you're a hand that's not going to let me down, and someone who's going to work really there with me, then workday flies by with this guy. If you end up working alongside of you with the shift, like if you're working inside of a job or whatever, not like we have jobs, obviously, but the reality is that the time is just going to flow so fast and flow by you so quickly because you're going to be having so much fun with this guy at the same time. So Mike Evans, we're going to take a look at your name. See, problem is you're trapped in your head. The problem with this name is that you got all of this intuition and no communication that comes back out. It can get heavily neurotic and trapped and feel like you're that idea on a hamster wheel that can't quite get off of it. And that's a challenge. What I would be doing with this is I'd be adding a letter. Obviously, it's what I do. If you guys don't figure that out, I'm like, we've been in the last half an hour. This value is I got to take this name. I got to put something on here. So when I'm cranking the name around, I'm like, okay, well, he could take the letter H and run his own God complex and get the same number that Kevin's running, 268. You could take the letter Q or the letter Z, do the same thing. You could also take the letter O. If you took the letter O, hold on a second. Let me just double check this to make sure I got my math right. So yeah, if you take the letter O, when Mike O. Evans, right, you would take a vibration much similar to mine, okay, which says business, spiritual, family, connected, long-term wealth. You could also take the letter F or the letter X, Mike X Evans or Mike F Evans, which says, look, I don't need the spiritual stuff. I'm just going to build my business, tactical, practical, logical, linear, one step at a time, one brick at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and you will move a value inside of Mike F or Mike X Evans into like long-term value. It's a safe bet, like easy to work with, easy to coach you. He's right there with you. He loves you. He's going to take care of you. But there's also a bigger name around you, Michael Evans. Okay, Michael is a master number. I know this number because I'm like, oh, this is good. Michael Evans is not afraid to do the hard work. He's not afraid to work. He's not afraid to do it. He's going to have a smile on his face. He's not going to complain. He's like, hey, look on the bright side. At least it's hot out. At least it's sunny out. At least we're getting paid. And then silver lining. Insert silver lining. And this is what Michael Evans brings to the chart. If you want to boost and you want to fast move into business, I would be like, let's see, Michael D, Michael M, or Michael V Evans. This is get me running. I want to run to 6A right now. I want to run there. I don't care. I don't need no strategy. I'm just going to go out there and stick a bunch of stuff on the wall and see what sticks. So you got different levels of strategies. One side was super strong spiritual. One side was super fun. One side was super methodical. But you see how we get a chance to move into different directions? Now, Mikey's probably sitting there being like, ooh, when you said that one letter, dude, I just got this zap and I felt like I should really, take the D. And I'm like, Mike wants to take the D. And so the feeling is like, okay, did you get a zap? Did you get a feeling in there that thinks this is the letter that I need to take?
Yeah, I mean, when you were like, literally the last couple ones that you mentioned, I was like, that hit me like, holy cow, that's what I need.
Mike wants to take the D. Just kidding. Okay, so Michael D. Evans, Michael M. Evans, Michael V. Evans. Pick a number, probably not D unless your middle name's Doug, right? But if you figure this out, like you can take this move. This is where numerology gets a little funny. Because this name is like, yo, this is the fastest car out there. It doesn't got no brakes. It doesn't have no kid seats. It's just like, let's run and let's go move. And I'm like, yeah, does it come in a 7-seater? Because I got like 4 kids right now and it's like really crazy. So I can't take a number like that because I'm kind of like a little bit in a different place in my life. But if you were to take this name, 6 months, 12 months, you're going to grow out of it. Because next thing you know, you're going to be like, I've got a team now. and I need to get serious. I need like a coach bus name, or I need like a spaceship name like Balaj over here. And you could be moving up to the H or the O or one of the bigger numbers in there to help you move forward. But just so you know, this number is a start point. It's to help you get out of your comfort zone. Be like, you know what? Who cares? I'm just going to go out there and do it anyway. I don't care if I'm kind of stuck in my head. That's the old me. I'm going to go out there and make something happen. I'm going to do this in life. I'm going to make some business happen. And this is going to be one of the more powerful pieces of you. Not Mike D. Evans, Michael D. Evans. Cool? Any questions?
Nah, man, it's awesome.
Super blessed to work for you, bro. Like, this is what and I know I'm not doing it justice inside of like a 10-second reading here, but it's a wonderful feeling to be able to do this. So John, I'm like, yo, bro, isn't it like your birthday today? So we got John. Is that John or Sonia's name?
It's John.
John, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, good, good. Okay, so you look a lot like my wife's numbers. Okay, she's born on the 3rd of June. And so she's got a 6 and a 3. You're born on the 12th. So we're going to look at this value that shows up in here. 6, 8, 5, life path 5. Speed junkie. This guy needs to run. He needs to move. There's going to be power of motion. He's going to shoot first, ask questions never. But he's also got a really good heart. You aim with the heart. And this value can get a little walked on. It can feel like you're giving and giving and giving and fighting for everyone else, or just fighting yourself. This value is a warrior. You got a warrior spirit, but we're going to see ink on this. You got the 3 in there. This feeling of you being an artist or a creator or a value of creation is going to be inside of you. You're going to make it look easy, make it look fun. Half the time you're going to be like, I don't even know how I did it. But this value shows up in your birth path to be one of the allied. This is like an allied forces. You guys are kind of like the military. This is a warrior and absolutely a fighter. So it could be challenging to create wealth for yourself. It's like $1 in, $2 out. Like I can't afford it. Okay, let me buy 2. And this 5 wants to work in the opposite direction of wealth. You just want to have a good time and enjoy and move. And there is a lot of travel in there, but there's also a lot of fight. So if you deal with loss in your life, I'm sorry to hear that, because it's going to hurt a little bit extra more, but you're holding it together. And not everybody knows this. Not everybody knows this, because you're just going to keep the sake of appearance and keep that heart giving out, where it's going to be depressing, angry, and hurtful on the inside. You can be downright mean to yourself in that regard. Okay, so we're looking at your name. We're looking at John and Sonia. So what's your last name? What name do you use?
Darrell, D-A-R-R-E-L.
So D-A-R-R-E-L. Okay, so it's a great start if you wanted to be a happy housewife. And you're like, I'm like, I want to get power. I'm a warrior. Why did you just call me a housewife, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? This is crazy. And that number inside of your chart, it says, look, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy. Great guy to crack a couple beers with, smoke some dudes. Let's have a great time, let's play some bids. But let's not get anywhere with our business. I just want to be in love. And great, date nights are awesome. Romance is there. You're doing it. It's great. But the problem is that I would like this to move a little bit faster and a bit more forward. So the quick, easy fix, it says Darrell, D-A-R-R-E-L, would be adding the letter B, K, or T. And there are other ways to do this. You could, like run with your middle name, or run with something also in like a bunch of letters. Kevin's like E.J. Melnick. I'm like, okay, cool, it's fine. He's got two letters in there, even though it's not part of his original name. But the value inside of here is to think you're born on a 3-day, you're born on a 5-year, you're born on a 5 life path. If you take a name that says 358, you're going to be so freaking happy with this. It's going to be like, this is what I needed in order to get me to the place where I need to go. And with that, man, happy birthday. For you, I had a special gift. Message me. I'm going to give you something cool for your birthday gift, man. I appreciate you for being alive, because this is a great day to be alive. And you're going to stay looking young. You're going to stay having fun. You're always going to be a big kid at heart, going to connect with children. It's a wonderful feeling to have that. But you also have a very mature side of you that's like, oh, you get in front of me and my family, and I will cut you down. Or you get in front of my family, and this guy will cut you down. But if you get in front of him, he's probably going to let you take advantage a little bit, because he's like, oh, it's just me. Trust me, I beat myself up worse than that. And that feeling of you taking it out on yourself is going to be one of the bigger challenges. But, man, get in front of someone you love or someone you care about. It's game over for them. Absolutely. So, cool. All right, how about Dustin? You with us, bro? Any questions, Johnny? And John is a great guy. Honestly, you look at the name John, he will fight for you. He will do whatever he needs to do for his friends. Like, drop of a hat, whatever you need, he's there for you. Absolutely. Even Sonia's like, yeah, she's nodding away. She knows that this guy fights himself more than
I'm a stage 4 colon cancer survivor, and he was by my side every step of the way. Man.
Wow.
You're killing me.
That's amazing. That's unbelievable. Well, you have it right there, and that's a wonderful place to be in. To have numbers like this, because he's a great guy. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite work. It doesn't quite do what it needs to do. Let's get your business in order, man. Let's get you into that 8 vibration. And out of just, I want to be happy and fun. I get it. You're a happy and fun kind of guy. But let's put the passion and the power and the magnetism back in the flow. Take one of those letters, man. B, K, or T. And hopefully you got a middle name by that. Otherwise, we can work together privately and figure it out.
I know, but we'll set something up.
Yeah, we'll set something up for sure.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Any questions at all?
No, I mean, everything you said is pretty much spot on, like, for real. It's crazy.
I know, right? I hear it a lot. And then usually when I ask a question, people are like, I'm stunned. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to ask. And I'm like, trust me, that happens a lot. I just wanted to test and see if I'm still got it. So I still got it. All right, cool. So Dustin, let's bring you up, bro. If you got this, I'm going to take a look at your numbers here. February 1st, 94. What's going on? The bearded bro comes out. Man, I love the beard. That's vicious. All right, here we got something really powerful, guys. You guys ready for this? This guy's a life path 8. So you got business on the mind. You are an intelligent son of a gun, okay? This guy, Dustin, is thinking in terms of solution, but he's super humble. He wants to help other people. He's a great friend to have. The advice is there. But you grow into your leadership one day. 1994, this makes you what, 25 or something like this?
Yep.
So in about 2 years, 27, you change. You're about to move into your leadership. I had the same challenge. I kept on giving everything up for everyone else and being everyone else's, like, I'm going to take care of you and do things for you. But then when I turned 27, I hit my 1, which said, no more of that. I'm going to do what's right for myself. I'm not going to build something else. I'm going to build what's right for me. I'm going to do what I need to do in my life and love myself. Otherwise, it's never going to happen for me. It's never going to figure itself out. And that was a big, huge challenge that I was going through. But when I add all of these numbers up together, you have the wizard-like vibration and the beard to prove it. This guy's got the Merlin's beard, like, straight up. And you froze on me. That's how profound it is. He's literally stunned. I hope that you're watching this, dude. Are you still with me? Ouch. Lost connection. That's how powerful it is. Sometimes the universe is like, and takes it right away. And to think, I'm still going to do this for you because I really want to make sure this happens. Dustin Waldner, and I'm not going to repeat it. So when you come back, I'm like, sorry, bro. You have to watch the replay. But what we're doing here is we're going to take a look at Dustin Waldner, and we're going to see how this thing is. Whoa, okay, no. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. So you're like a few steps away from a mastery vibration, and I get it. You're not going to be able to fight back on this one. But what we need to do, because his name is like, it's like emergency healer and ultimate self-sacrifice, and you will just give your left arm for someone. You cut your beard off for someone. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Keep it growing. Live the dream. And what I would be suggesting is you take the letter D, you take the letter M, or you take the letter V to step into your king mode. But even if you go that far, I'll tell you this, it'll only last for a few years max before you start getting that itch. And you're like, well, Balaj is a life path 8. Shouldn't I take an 8 name as well? And I'm like, yeah, man, you should. And what I would do is instead of taking the D, E, you could take the letter F, or you could take the letter X, and this would push you to the global visionary stage. It would probably take you 5-10 years to figure it out. But hey, I mean, you have 5-10 years to go, so why not? I mean, this is a legacy business. You're not going to build it in a month. But at the same time is what are you going to do for the next decade? And so if you were to get that number settled and sorted for you, the F or the X would move you into a powerful vibration. Or we could take the value of O, and then you can move into Kevin's direction. So you can either take Kevin vibration or Balaj vibration, and absolutely not one is worse than the other. But Kevin's got the value of family, community, and partnership and coaching. And Balaj has got, like, I'm going to change the world. So there's a connection point that happens between there that's a choice for you to decide. That's either the F or the X to go down Balaj's lane, or the O to go down Kevin's name. And there he's back again. I was like, what happened? Are you with me, dude?
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, dude. I just ripped out your chart, and now you weren't there to see it. So I'm not going to do it again, but it is on the replay. What I would suggest is either you take the letter F, the letter X, or the letter O, and see which one really pulls you and moves you. But cool. I could keep going, guys. I'm just going to take a look at my schedule here to make sure that I've got the time and nobody's waiting for me. And I want to make sure that I'm not going to hurt someone's feelings by being like, I was on a webinar. Okay, cool. So I got a little bit of extra time. If you guys want it, I'm in. I don't mind to keep going. Let's see what you guys are saying. If anybody wants another one, you guys can. Balaj, thank you, man. Literally one of the most valuable things you can ever do to fulfill your heart's purpose in this life. Do it. Good night. Love and appreciate you all. Love and appreciate you, dude. Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait to see you at my wedding, man. So if Dustin, it's okay if it's goofy. I will absolutely like let you catch the replay, okay? But those names, you are a moment's notice away from a very powerful mastery set of vibrations, either king or global visionary or God. Like literally, I've named these vibrations, and I know it's a little heavy to be like, whoa, dude, like relax, it's just a name. Trust me on this. When your name looks like the numerological equivalent to the word G-O-D, I promise you it's going to have an effect on the people that you guys talk to and the clients that you work with. Some of my clients even hire me just to talk about their leads. And they're like, yo, I've got a client or someone I'm talking to right now. And I'm like, if you use this conversation, they're going to apply to you. If you push this person, you're going to lose them. You have to show up with the backbone of this person. You need to give details to this person. And I can help you navigate through conversations with your clients. It's unreal. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep going. Everyone's like, yo, let's keep going. I'm like, all right, cool. Does the number of names make a huge difference? I believe it does. Imagine if you're like, my poor buddy here, like Jose, Enrico, Congligas, and Bligas, I'm like, oh, man. And you got like 5 middle names, and you're like, there's so much extra baggage, and that's why they say women are so complicated. Well, no shit. They change their middle names. They change their last names, like through marriage. They can take a complete different move into a completely different place. And it's just like, you've changed. I'm like, marriage is the leading cause of divorce. No wonder they've changed. They're not the same person they were a second ago. And so you got to be really careful about getting married to the right person. And sometimes it's really romantic. We see the names line up. And sometimes it's like, ouch, you got to fix this. Otherwise, you're running down a road that's the wrong space. But Bruce is like, I have 2 middle names. So those of you who have 2 middle names, I like to think that you're paying an extra baggage fee to take extra stuff with you on the plane down to your ride to Earth. But you got extra stuff with you. I like to bring an extra bag with me. I mean, my name is Balwant. It's also Bobby. I go by, Bob or B or Bal. I got a bunch of different names in there because I know the value of having a different version of it. But inside of Bruce's, let's say Bruce, for example, inside of his middle names, there's a value in there that says these are the 2 contracts that your soul is here to acknowledge and your soul is here to grow through in this life. And it's dormant. It's like a shopping list. And so if you've got extra numbers, hey, on one side, it's great because you're paying a lot of extra karmic debt in one conversation and in one life iteration if you believe in that kind of stuff. On the opposite side, it's like, oh, I got so much to deal with and so much extra baggage and so much to go through inside of my mind and da-da-da-da. So it happens. I get it. It's good. It's bad. Everything's good. Even bad things are good. But especially the bad things are good, right? But this reality here is that you guys get a chance to move your vibe over. So let's keep going. Let's do this. Everyone's like, keep going. I could probably do another 25 minutes, and I will do this for you guys, but I would love it. Who's down for a group session? If you guys are down for a groupie, let me know, and let's freaking do this, okay? Like, come to Nanaimo. Let's throw it a party. It's nuts. It's crazy. Everyone's going to be there. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Actually, you guys want to come to my house, let's do a barbecue. Someone bring a barbecue. Anyway, but the reality is that if you guys come into a group session together, we will bond in ways that you've never bonded with another man. I promise you, it's going to be very, very powerful. So let's go back up. Okay, so we had Dustin, Benjamin Lee. This is cool. Ben Lee, like Bruce Lee. So we're going to see here 822. Damn, that's a serious level of numbers, dude. You got a challenge here. This is a challenge here. We got August 22nd, 89. You're gonna want to unmute yourself for this. This is a challenge, dude, because what happens here is that while you look fun and enjoyable and just a great fun-loving kind of guy, Life Path 3, young and heart, young in skin, look young, feel young, act young, you're going to be a young-looking guy, great, young, I get it. But on the big side of this, month path 8, wizard-like numbers as a kid, tough. That's not easy. Then we have 22, born on the 22nd. That's a massive number for, like, I'm a Life Path 11, which is like a spiritual mastery number. A 22 is a mastery number as well. So when you have a 22 in your chart and you're like, I have this big vision, and everyone's like, cool story, bro. And the Life Path 3, it's like nobody's taking you seriously. And you're like, no, trust me. It's going to be really powerful. It's going to be awesome. But then we're going to get stuck inside of our limiting belief of, can I even do this? And maybe I should just please everyone else. And you're hiding. And that's a challenge because these numbers are big. 9 for 89, 22, 8. These are challenging numbers to live. And then you're walking around like Bruce Wayne when really you're like, you got your Batman scanner on the inside thinking like, I'm going to do some big stuff in this life. If only I could just take myself seriously and take myself moving forward. Then we have a name like Lee, which says Just work hard. Stop with this ambitious stuff. Like, get a job and just go be easy. Why you got to go buy an expensive water machine? And you're like, look, something's telling me to go and do this. But Lee is a whistle while you work kind of guy, and he's going to get things done, and it's going to be fun, and you're going to enjoy your time with him. But his ambition is going to be used for someone else's purpose. And you're like, ouch, stop hurting me, dude. I'm like, okay, fine. Let's go. Let's do this. Benjamin Lee. And let's just figure out what we got. And okay, so same problem we were dealing with the first fellow we did. It was someone who had the 279. Mike, we were dealing with a number there that didn't work. So I would be taking, depending on how badass we need to go with this. What is it looking at? I would be
actually, Bobby, you actually done mine for me.
I have, right? I thought your name looked familiar. So
yeah, and my last name, I did change it to Montgomery.
So what are you looking like now?
It's Benjamin Lee Montgomery.
Cool. So let's just take a look at this. How dare you? I mean, everyone's like trying to figure this out, and you're like, okay, wait a second. But it's Ben Lee?
Yeah, Benjamin Lee Montgomery.
Wait a second. You put Benjamin Lee Montgomery?
Yeah, that's my name.
No, man. You need to do Ben Lee. Otherwise, we got to figure something else. Otherwise, I spelt Montgomery wrong. Montgomery?
Yes.
Benjamin Lee Montgomery. I apologize for my lack of communication. That's not the name, man. You need to put something else on there. That thing is not aligned. And either I made a mistake or you did. If whatever it is, you read the recording, go back into the session notes or the chart. I'll look it up for you. Did we spend one-on-one time together?
Yeah, I paid for a 15-minute session, but we ended up going over like 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Well, then I want to make sure I take a look at my notes here because and if I'm calling you out on this right now, man, you're about to be put on blast because I want to make sure that I did this right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go Montgomery.
You told me to put a W in there, which I did on my page.
You did. So you put so you put Benjamin Lee W. Montgomery.
Yes.
Oh, you just saved your butt. Okay, good. That's basically what we needed to do. Because I'm like, on its own, I'm like, wait a second. And then with the W in there, you actually balance out. Okay, sweet. Cool. Shannon, I heard your name. And I was like, okay, we got to get this done. And Ben, we already worked together. So if I've already done yours, then I'm not going to do it again. But
yeah, that's why I was stopping you. I was like, wait a minute. No, don't waste your time on me.
Cool. I appreciate you, dude. And that's such a giver, this guy right here. How about Shannon? So Shannon's coming on the 17th of the 4th. So we got April 17, 79. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to put this together here. And we got kind of the same thing we just had a second ago where we're looking at an 8-month and a 4-day. You're looking at a 4-month and an 8-day. So it's interesting how that thing shows up. But you're 79, it's 8s all the way across the board. So when I add this all up together, I'm looking at your life path. I'm just going to quickly do this because for some reason 7s and 8s kind of mess me up a little bit. So we're going to go 4, 8, 8. Life path 2, super loyal, very connected, good coach, great conversation. This person's fun to talk to, but they mean business. They're serious. You're hard on yourself. And whatever you do is not good enough. And you battle between the higher side of you and but you got to do things yourself. You got to relinquish control. No, you can't. I got to keep it. Or like, no, you got to invest and hire other people to do it. And the 4 is like, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. And then on the other side, the 8's like, no, you don't. You hire a professional. And you're battling between these two. And then the life path 2 shows up to be like, guys, ladies, can we just like all calm down here? And can everybody just like, be nice and like be peacemaker between, and maybe I'll quietly build my business in the background while I'm still very loyal to my job because you feel super guilty leaving that thing. But the reality is that we can't let this happen. If you don't make wealth happen in your life based on your birthday, you're going to be down a very dark road. And it was about that age when I found my 7 months in, when I found my numerological path, and I promise you, it changed everything. It took me 3 years to get over myself. So if you've got 30 to 40 years worth of programming, surprise, you're not going to get rid of it in a day. But the reality is that you can absolutely move past this. So Shannon, let's give you a name, Shannon Crooks. So we're going to do this, and we're going to give you a name that's going to work for you, and it's going to help you. You are a lot of love. This woman's got a lot of love in her chart, and she will do anything for others. So now we got another player in the game. We had the clinical, technical mind versus the powerful mind. And then on the other side, it's the loving, caring. I'm going to serve and give and love and care and serve and give and love. And it's like, where do you love yourself in this? And you're like, ooh, good question. When I have time at the end of the day, bullshit. You don't have time at the end of the day. You're exhausted from helping everyone else. Mommy needs a nap. And this value in there is like, okay, I need to get my shit together. Even though your name, Shannon Crooks, shows up as a divine geometry for love. Okay, so you are, if anyone needs to have a definition of what love means on the parent level, on the childlike level, on the universal level, Shannon Crooks, your girl. But we would like to take this away from the divine geometry level of definition into queen of wealth, queen of power, spiritual worth, spiritual power. So what I would be suggesting is a letter in here that looks like F or X, puts you into your queen mode, mastery level vibration number 1. Or you could take the H, the Q, or the Z and take on your godlike vibration the same way Kevin does. And just to let you guys know, God, I mean, I get it. He looks like a Greek god, whatever. But I'm like still working on it, right? And I mean, remember he put this post up one time. He's like, you can eat whatever the hell you want if you don't mind killing yourself in the gym every day. And I'm like, preach. I'm going to kill myself in the gym every day. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. You have to eat good. You have to eat right. But the reality I'm trying to make here is that that number says 3 important things. It has the 6. It has the 8. So it's got both of the targets covered. If you ever see Kevin and you throw a dog in front of him, he's going to lose his shit because he cares about animals. He cares about others. He's a big, loving guy. And this is where the HQ and the Z come in to help you, to have this value of mom, this mama bear. And then coach, partner, I'll help you. I'll lead you. Let's grow. Let's teach you. Let's get you through the hump. And then the next vibration says wizard-like power. So does that remind us of any certain kind of man in the sky with a beard on that said, we're not talking about you, Kevin, this feeling of God on a cloud that says, I'm going to help my people get to the place that they need to go. And it's funny how that's the way that this guy treats his business. Just so you guys know, my last name, Perihar, says this number. So I've got like spiritual clearance to be like, no, I'm going to do the right thing. Otherwise I'm going to get burned. And I have done the wrong thing and I have gotten burned. And I basically wasted a lot of my life trying to figure out myself. So those are the letter choices you have. You're very welcome. Did you have any questions?
Not at this time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure and an honor to do this for you guys. It's crazy because I'm like whipping through this. But I just want to take a quick moment to recognize this, guys. We're changing your destiny. And this is not a game. This is not a joke. This isn't a small little, like, oh, let's try it out. This is your entry point into wealth. Your magnetic abundance is before you. Please change your name. Do it. FXHQZ. I'm like, oh my God, this sucks because I was like, I got to take an X or a Q or a Z in my name. I'm like, this is so weird. And then my middle name is Francisco. So I'm like, I'll just take the F. And that was the letter I chose because I had name vanity. I'm like, I have to be authentic to myself. So for some of you who can't figure it out, it could be your first and your middle name. It could be your first and a version of your, like, it could be like Shan Crooks or like a different version of her, Shani, or whatever you go by. Like, you know, it could be a different version of it. So in case that is the case, let's connect privately. Let's connect on a group session. Let's connect and let's do this. I would recommend that once you're getting in the points and you want to save yourself a headache, and let's say you're making like $4,000 on like a 3-unit sale, or like, you know, and you're in 8 points and you're like making a lot of money, it's not a bad idea to say you're going to go see Bobby for an hour. And you're going to go and pay this discounted rate that I'm giving you guys for life to make sure that you guys have the ability to get this done. And like, you know, share this with people and share this with your teams, or even collaborate and make a team group effort. I had one lady in Australia pay for her team. And she's like, trust me, it's a gift to them. We're going to get this all done. I'm like, whoa, hello. And to absolutely do that, it's super powerful. So thanks, Shannon. I appreciate you. You were the first name that came up. It was even before the call. And she's like, yeah, Shannon's been trying. She's been out there. She's been hustling. I'm like, let's give her the leg up she needs, because you're never going to stop hustling with this number. You are absolutely committed and dedicated to this. It's about time your name actually like fit the bill as well. Absolutely blessed to be able to do this for you. How about the Booleans? Is that Rob's name or is that Christina's name?
That's Rob's name.
Okay, so and did he leave? He's not even working anymore?
He's just putting Aubrey to bed. But
okay, cool. He'll be back, and when he is, we're going to do his. So what we'll do is we're going to do Phil's in the meantime, and cool. Phil's going to come in with an April 9/81. So we have another fighter, another warrior in here. So Phil's numbers, it's going to be one side that says like hard work and farmer mentality, and another side that says global like service and humanity, and he cares about others, and then another side says leadership, and I want to be independent. I want to do what I got to do. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make something happen. And the value that shows up all together is 5, which is like I'm not making things happen, or I'm working too hard and I'm getting more in debt, or I'm in this quicksand of life and I want to do what's right for others or right for myself, but I just keep on working super freaking hard for other people, and I can't seem to get myself out of this. I've not catched up with the messages. So in case anyone needs to raise their hand, I don't know if that's a thing. Yeah, you can do that and you want me to get my attention. But the reality is this number here, Phil, we've got to fix it. And Phil DK, I mean, I'm gonna double check this. I'm not sure. If
those are just my middle initials, David Kenneth.
So what do we do? Like, do you show up on like a bit, like what does you show up on like, I'm just looking at Phil right now. This is spiritually overwhelming. You've got a lot of giant level heart power. This is 999. Like this is the highest name possible, and it's not an easy name to deal with. You can't stand around for too long. You got to get out of the way. You got to get out of the party. You got to leave. You can only take so much before you get spiritually overwhelmed, and it's like I got to get out of here, because that 999 vibration is a little tough. So I mean, that's with I'm glad you spell it with 2 L's, to be fair, because this is like, it helps quite a bit. When it's with double L's, same thing Balazs is dealing with. Fun guy. He's going to look young, feel young. You go into your video, I'm like, you don't look like you're born in 81, dude. It's more like 87 or 88. You're like, I get it all the time, no big deal. Because that name wants to keep you looking and feeling young. But when we're looking at a vibration for you for business, what do you use for Facebook?
Phil DK Bible.
Phil DK Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would be putting something on top of this. Let's see what happens. Let's go. And what did you say your middle names were?
David and Kenneth.
David and Kenneth. So let's go David K. How about D. Kenneth? Okay, here. Oh, no, where it is. Phil D. Kenneth Bible. Okay, like if you could write it that way, and it's Phil with double L's.
Yeah.
It's authentic. It's real. This isn't a guy who wants to take a weird letter. Okay, I get it. We want to make sure that there's authenticity in there. I always look for that. I always look for, what does your name actually mean? And this is how it gets super creative. Because you notice I didn't just give him a letter. I'm like, well, we could just take Phil Bible and put a letter on there, and people are going to be like, oh, dude, what happened to the Donkey Kong? And now you're just going to go with a different set of letters, and we're like, hey, wait a second, let's keep it authentic. Let's try, Phil David K. No, how about Phil D. Kenneth Bible? Here, now we have a vibration that says King. Now we have a vibration here that you're like warrior here, gonna fight for the land or fight for whatever's going on. There's a wonderful vibe in that. Any questions, my man?
No, not at the moment. No.
It's cool. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. And you got Rob back? Hey, Rob, it's time for you, dude. I'm super blessed to be able to do this for you, man. I will absolutely have this conversation with you in person. You're cooking me dinner here. What are we having? We're having some steaks and lobsters. Let's do this.
I'll cook for you.
that way it's going to be really good then. And we go February 13.
Nope, that's mine.
That's yours.
Yeah, his is down lower.
March 23rd.
Oh. Well, I got the February 13 one. So do we want to do yours instead, or would you rather, what do you think?
You can do his. Go with his.
All right, Rob.
It's more complicated because we just got married and I changed things and stuff, right?
Sure. Okay. Congratulations. What's your birthday, buddy?
March 24th.
March 24.
71.
1971. Okay, let's do this.
Middle name's James.
Hey, look at this. He's born in a 3-month, a 6-day, and a 9-year. So you got a divine geometry for love inside of your birth path. This looks like a name. This is instantly an old soul. And I was like, I felt like I knew you even before we met. When we first started talking, it was like, you're already buddy. And when I look at your chart, I'm like, oh, no wonder. He's a fun-loving guy. To look young, feel young. There's going to be an age or a wisdom beyond his age. But there's also going to be a playful, joyful, little fun version of you that always likes to show up. This is great for date nights. This is great for marriage. This is a safe bet, okay, Christina? And his feeling is like, he's going to absolutely bring the love to the table. Wouldn't be surprised if he's bringing flowers just for no reason and things like that. And he cares. And if not, dude, what are you doing? You got to get flowers for no reason. It's the best thing ever. And it's just like it solves so much stuff. Anyway, but we're looking at your name, right? So, and you also do things like Dr. Rob, right? So and people like to put in their, especially if you're a doctor, I'm like, of course I'm going to use that. I went to school for that stuff. And to think that you could run it inside of a business, but do we want to just go Rob Boulian, or do you want to do you use the doctor in there as well?
Doctor.
He usually goes by Dr. Rob.
Okay, so if it's just Dr. Rob, it's just as bad as James. And this is the loving, caring, loving vibe, love and give and love and care to others, but doesn't take care of himself. So what I would say is do Dr. Rob, we're going to do, let's go back to Rob Boolean. And then let's just see how it looks like if I do this. And we go here, and then we go James. Okay, so it's not there yet. If we were to take this and just put with Dr. Rob something Boolean, we'd be putting the number G or the number E. So Dr. Rob E Boolean, you can do Dr. Rob G, Dr. Rob P, Dr. Rob Y. We can also do, that's about it. I will absolutely be explaining them in a little bit more detail. But what about what if we did like something like Robert Boolean, this guy's like ambition on power here. He knows what's up. He's going to have a valuable level of ambition, and you're going to get things done like order by order. Like in the work that you do, you're very good at it, and you shift things, and you move things, and you fix things, and you build a structure. Robert Boolean is a name you can trust, and like just so you know. Sorry, what was the comment there?
I said I move bones.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're like, all right, we need a solution here. Here, come here. I'm like, I feel so much better now. and you create a structure and a stability for that thing. That's what the name says. So you're living to your purpose. And I was looking at your birthday. I'm like, wait a second, old soul, here for a minute. Just relax. You got a bigger purpose on this planet. That's not just this thing. You're using your craft as a way to actualize who you truly are. But you got to learn to love yourself, man. You got to learn to go easier on yourself. And you give so much of your love to others. Why not to you first? First thing in the morning, gratitude. Like love for myself, affirmations, I'm a boss, in the mirror, whatever you got to do to absolutely kick yourself into not kick yourself in the heart would be anti-love. Love yourself in the heart, but give yourself a jump start into who you are will be one of the biggest values of being able to create that. But I would be very, like if you were to go Robert Boolean, I would go even, let's say if you were to go like J.A., right? Robert J.A. Boolean. But it's tough because you use Dr. Rob, and doctor is a large part of how we say Rob. So we would be looking at that a little bit deeper. So if we just go Dr. Rob, how about and that's my son's name, and it's the perfect name because Rob, Robert, Robbie, it's all aligned. It's perfectly centered. It's a masterful name. It's going to have its discipline in order, its partnership in order. It's a safe bet for marriage, safe bet for working together. It's got to have its business and everything all working. So we see it as a powerful feel, okay? But when we're looking at Dr. Rob, it's lacking in its self-love vibe. I would be going Dr. C. Rob or Dr. Rob L. or Dr. Rob C. or even Dr. Rob U. Okay, but I don't know if you want to put Rob U inside of a name. Might not be the best thing to get that done. But the reality is that's what you're dealing with. Your name, Dr. Rob, is probably not working the way we want it to. How about Dr. Robert? That might work. No, it doesn't. How about Dr. Robert B? No. How about Dr. Robbie? No, it doesn't work. We'd have to. I would like to sit down with you on this, if it's okay with you. If we can go and do it deep. But when it's not immediately available, and we're not like, it's got to have something that clicks. And if you're rolling with a name like this, and you were just to say Dr. Rob, I would say, quick, put the C on there. Dr. Rob C, Dr. Rob L, and you are so set in comparison to where you are now and where you need to be. It's a 6 and a 9, 9 years, 6 days, 696 name. You're living to a destiny of value in you. Dr. Rob L, Dr. Rob C. Okay, and it's a little bit tough because you're like, I got to figure this out now. And that's basically, you can put DCR and just spell doctor weird. And just go, that's what stands for doctor. DCR Rob or Dr. Rob C for chiropractor, right? Something like that. So you could do something crazy around that level would work really well. But cool, man. Any questions?
I'm looking forward to the steak and lobster.
Let's do it. I like my medium well. All right, let's do this. How about I got 5 minutes left. So I'm gonna stop doing meetings. I'm sorry, guys. I can't keep going, but I do want to thank you guys so much for this. This is an absolute honor. I'm gonna catch up on some comments. Does anybody have any questions? Bobby's amazing. Got the feeling after seeing him. Thank you, Penny. This is fantastic. I wonder what a person with 4 names got. It's a lot to deal with. People who go through 4 names are a lot to deal with, and it's not like it's bad. It just means that You know, you've got more rooms to your house. Why not have a bigger house? Why not process more of your spiritual energy? Why not pay more of your spiritual karma? And the other side of like Balaj, he had a nice cleaning on his way into the planet. He ain't got no middle names. It was just Balaj Cardos. That's it. Everywhere, front to back. Blah, blah, blah. He didn't have a different way to show up here, a different way to show up there, a different way to show up there. It was always the same. Not like poor Dr. Rob of yours. Like you got like 8 different versions of your name. And if you put doctor on, it's now 16 versions of it. And there's a bunch of different array of options to go through. This is a really challenging piece to be able to do that. Okay, so Chris is saying, thank you, bro. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I dropped in the price there. So I appreciate you guys so much. Please, everybody book in. And if you book in, we're going to absolutely have a great time, especially for the group session, unlike anything you'll ever experience. Thank you so much for this amazing gift. I work the power of God through my vibration. I promise you, it's not just me. I'm completely moved to tears. Estelle, I want my numerology. I didn't even read your numbers, Estelle. And you're completely moved to I appreciate that's a flattering comment to think that you trust me enough to experience your emotion together. Guys, follow me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I go live every day. I've got my own podcast. I help people do this. I've grown my business because of this technology. Thank you. Matt, phone died on a walk. So happy you're cranking. Just get back on. I'm supposed to put our names in here. Nope, too late for that. Mike Evan, this guy's crazy, awesome guys. Balaj throws me out. Palm to your Dustin's. Internet's goofy. Sorry, Dustin. Going to change the world. You absolutely will. Let's get on it. Keep going. Keep it running. Thanks, guys. Cool. It's absolutely amazing. Keep going. I would love to see mine. Chris, I'd love to see yours. Actually, you know what? If you guys are okay to come an extra couple minutes, Chris, I want to see your birthday. If you can give it to me, that'd be pretty cool. I felt like I needed to read this guy's chart. I was hoping you put it in there. I think I got you up here.
6/20/86.
6/20/86. Okay, so you had a 6, a 2, and a 6 in here. 5, 3. Let's just make sure I got it here. There's a lot of love. Okay, there's a lot of connection, a lot of loyalty. But when we put them all together, you also are a badass fighter. So you fight with your heart on your sleeve. Like this is your fight in life, is to love and to love fearlessly. You can't take that. It's the name of my book. I'm writing it. But the value is that you will love without fear. You will conquer. And sometimes, you know, you pick up other people's fights and you're going to fight for others. And guess what? Your wounds are still yours. You took someone else's garbage on and you're the one dealing in stitches. And I'm pretty sure that kind of thing happens. So what we're going to do is I'm like, this guy needs a name. So I'm going to give you Chris. How do we say your last name here?
Mejia.
So we're going to do this here. We're going to get this open. And I would be putting the letter A, the letter J, the letter S. You can also take the letter C, the letter L, the letter U. So one of these letters is going to move you. And I would say the easiest ones would be like the letter C or the letter L. This speaks into your godlike vibration. We'll pull your vibration back into business and back into love. Put the swords down. There's no more fight happening here. You'll always be a fighter, but mastered is the warrior who can stay his blade. Mightiest is the conqueror who conquers himself first. The war is won in the mind before it's ever won in the battlefield. And these are not mine. That's like Lao Tzu and Confucius and all the big guys. And speaking of big guys, Chris Yu Mejia, this is like your Balaj level vibration. If you go ahead and you took the letter A, this is your Bobby level vibration. Tough call, right? Which way are you going to go? Bobby, Balaj, or Kevin? It's like you got a tough choice there. But then there's also the J or the S, which could put you back into king mode. So in case one of those zaps hits you more than the rest, pick it, take it, use it. Absolutely my gift to you guys. So John, any questions, Drew?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my bro. I appreciate you and cannot wait to keep it going for you guys. Everyone's saying keep going. I got to leave. It's 10 p.m. Sorry, Jess. It was great to help you out. I got 2 middle names. Yes, middle names are a big thing. Got to go. This is amazing. I have 3 first names. Amber, you are a wizard. That's awesome. I would love to have that conversation. Technically, I have 5 names and 2 my birthday. When I was adopted. Wow. Quick conversation there. You're going down in life, and suddenly you're like, boom. And then the world's like, no, you're not. And it takes you completely down a separate path. You've got a dusty version of your vibration that never got a chance to fulfill itself because you changed your name legally and you were too young to figure it out if that was it. What if it was changed as a child? Yeah, I changed my kids' names when I met them. My wife had 3 kids. I was like, I changed their names. My wife changed her name too. I'm like, I can't be a numerologist, walk around with all you unaligned people in my life. We're going to change their names. And it works. It absolutely does. If your name was changed as a child, you were 90-degree turned into something that you couldn't even understand. and this is where it gets real deep, is some people are dealing with abuse. My parents beat me, my things happen, or even some people, the parents are doing drugs right on the table and the kids are right there, and this like trauma in the household and violence and all of this stuff. And oh my God, guys, this is real life. This is not a game. And you've developed a complex based on love and the business and the values and the things that your parents used to survive. As a kid, this is really challenging, especially for anyone born in August, anyone born in September. If you got a bigger level number, I feel your pain. It's a bit more challenging than not. Even June babies, we're serious. So here we go. It's going to see Group B, but in the USA, that's fine. I'm in. I'm there. We can host. Cool. Nice. I'm in. Sweet. Nice, Dustin. Cool name. I want a name. Of course, Estelle. We have to get you a name for sure. This is fire. Definitely need you to go through my name. Very excited. Great meeting you guys. Awesome. Queen or Godlike. Great options. It's super powerful. Shannon's coming to Nanaimo. She lives in the TO. Nanaimo 20th to 30th. Let's do it. You're in. I'm in. Let's get going. Let's make it happen. Absolutely. Will reach out to me privately. Please do it. Not so. Sorry. Not so lucky tonight. Oh, bet that happens a lot. Sorry to do that to you. That was amazing. Thank you. Can't wait, Christina. It's super powerful. Everyone's throwing their birthday in. Got to crash. Thanks, guys. This has been so amazing. It's so incredible. Greatly appreciate you guys. This has been amazing. I feel different. Deep down, coming out. Something deep down. I can't wait to get with you one-on-one. It's a spiritual clearing. It's absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Jason, I got you booked in. I saw you guys book in. It's super cool. This is amazing, Bobby. I'll be reaching out to you very soon. I have no idea what the depth of what you do. I had no idea of the depth of what you do. Love you. Thanks for the Cardo surprise. I know, right? It's so cool. June baby here. So should I set my calendar? Can I set my calendar for you guys? Are you guys ready to do this? What I'm going to do is I'm going to set my calendar for a group call. And I can do this like on the 22nd at like 6 p.m. PST. Or if you guys want to go a little bit earlier, I can do like 2 p.m. PST. If we want to figure out a better day, I could probably, if I can't do the 22nd, I can do the 23rd. But that would be the target date for a group session. If you guys are in for that, just let me know in the chat and let me know about this and see, do you guys want to do this and we can figure out a group chat? It would be $100 a person Canadian. So it's an exclusive price. And Kevin is like, I'm in. I'll have to come for a personal visit and a reading. Bro, you're in my house all the time. You can come by anytime. You know it. It's my brother from another mother. But I'm in. Okay, cool. So what are we thinking? Numerologically speaking, if we do this on the 22nd and you guys weren't able to be there on the 22nd, that would be a giant name. That would be a giant day for magnetism inside of your business and building a foundation around you. So if we could do 2 p.m. PST on the 22nd, we would spend 222 together. It would be the most phenomenal experience for you guys. We would be in a very powerful gateway for numerological understanding. So I think I'm setting it. Okay, I'm going to do this. And I can take, like, I'd say I'd be pushing it at 40 people. So in case there were, like, more than 40, I'd have to set another date and I have to do another call. But at 40 people, it would be a solid 3.5-hour jam. So in case you guys want to do that, absolutely would love to. I'm just going to set my calendar right now so nobody books me because I have to do this in case I get booked and then people are like, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 4 hours on the 22nd just in case we go over. And then that way you guys can get in. If you guys want in, you message me on Facebook and say Allied Forces group session, put me in there, and I'll start a chat. And what I'll do is I'll send you guys can do like a e-transfer or a freaking PayPal. If you can't pay for it and you want to be in there, I will defer your payment. You can pay me in 30 days. All right. But if you pay me in 30 days, $150. It's fair. All right.
What about American? How do I get American money to Canada?
You tie it on a pigeon's leg and then you let it. I graciously accept PayPal. Okay, so in case you can PayPal me, or else dial into one of your buddies and be like, "Yo, hook me up," and then I'll throw you $15 because that's what the exchange rate's like. It feels like. But what we'll do is where Peter James is in there now. Sweet, Peter Maurice James White. Holy shit, dude, that's a lot of stuff going on. But yes, that's really cool. So I really appreciate you guys for sure. And you guys are going to absolutely be there for us for the 22nd. We're going to have a lot of fun. Kev, if you want, I'll turn this over back to you, dude, before I go completely mental here. But if you want to maybe close us off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, dude. Any last words?
I got to be honest with you, man. It's every time I listen to this stuff, it's just
you get the feeling. Again, we've all listened to Abraham Hicks. We all are on a spiritual path. And the reason that the training's the way that it is, and we do these things with Bobby and Adrian, and we get you to listen to the biology of belief, is because you feel it inside you when things are running the way they're supposed to. And I am proof that it all happened. You know what I mean? It is, I did the thing. I was skeptical. I did my business through Harley while I was at the same time. I got on a phone with Leah. I got my personal charts done. It was 2.5 hours of basically what Bobby was doing, just consistent information. And I got to say, like, with the amount of money that I spent for what I got vibrationally back, it's there's nothing that comes close to this. So I highly recommend that you guys spend the money, invest, get this done. Because if you're at that point in your business where you're working hard and everything is going in the direction you want, but things just aren't landing yet, it might be because you haven't completely committed to becoming that other version of yourself that changes the world. So you get yourself aligned, get hooked up with Bobby, figure out your name, and I'm telling you, you'll go through the process. Inside the sprint, this is the time to buckle down right now. You know what I mean? This is the time. You're not paying $99 for, monthly gas fees or ACE fees or anything like that. Spend the $99, get your numbers done. Let's get all 40 people there on the 22nd. And let's literally blow the roof off this. Every single person here, just so you guys know, as Bobby's going through your numbers and he's pulling out Dustin and he's pulling out Chris and I've seen this in every single one of you. This is why you're on the team. You're on the team because I know that there's something inside you that's worth investing in. Whether you see it or not, you're here for a reason. Okay? It's time for you guys to get aligned with your own spiritual power. Get dialed in. Let's blow the roof off this thing and let's all end up in Bali in October and just have a hell of a time. So again, Bobby, you have no idea how much I can't express my gratitude anymore. I love you, but you're you have a gift, and I think I speak for everybody when we say you absolutely blew our mind tonight.
Dude, you know who's in Bali? The Freedom Team. You know why? Because they see me every freaking day. This is how I made my business fly. Because I put the X in Clint's name, and next thing you know, this guy flips off and just explodes his business. And they're like 6A, like 50 by now. They're 95% of their leadership squad is basically my clients. And I work with them every single day. That's why I'm up late. But I would love to say, come on, Canada, come on, North America. We're spiritual, right? Let's do this. Let's make this happen. Anyway, I appreciate you guys and love you guys so much. This is really, really powerful. Kev, I've been waiting for this for a long time, man.
Me too, brother. And thank you so much again, guys. We're gonna top it off. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. We will put the replay up. And on the 22nd, we will be there with bells on. Again, thank you guys so much. Everyone give Bobby a little bit of love before we leave.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bobby, thank you.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bobby.
Go tell social media right now that this just happened. Post me, tag me.
Oh, I did.
Know that this
It's
happened.
already too late, buddy. It's already
I did.
All right, guys. I gotta go eat some dinner.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
Have a great one.
Oh.